How's it going, YouTube? This is Kumo. Today we'll be talking about 3 basic ways of strength training. The first way of strength training I like to call conventional. It's just the most commonly seen style of training in the gym when it comes to strength training. You have one set of, of an exercise followed by a resting period. This is a really good way to train a specific muscle. So let's just say you're on the bench press and you're going for a really good 8 repetitions, a weight that you can handle. It's going to be a pretty intense set. The higher the intensity, you want to increase the resting period that follows. This is going to be because you want your muscles to recover. So more specifically, you have your chest, you have your shoulder, and you have your triceps, and obviously more muscles involved in the bench press. But you want to allow time to recover before you do your second set. Otherwise, that hard 8 repetitions on your first set is going to be maybe a 5 or a 6 if you cut your resting periods shorter. So the conventional way of strength training is going to be good for people who are doing really high intensity and that need that recovery time. If you are training really hard, your resting periods are going to be longer. That means your workout time is going to be longer as well. Because if you have 5-minute or 4-minute resting periods in between your sets, then you're going to have multiple 4 to 5-minute resting periods versus if you were doing, let's just move on to the second style of training, multi-sets, you're not going to be resting as much. Multi-sets are when you take 2 exercises or maybe even 3 exercises and you group them together with very minimal to no rest at all. For example, let's just do a paired set, which is just 2 exercises. You're going to have, let's just say you're doing pull-ups and then you're going to be doing push-ups right after each other. They're not the same muscle group. You're allowing time to recover in between your back and your chest muscles. Unfortunately, with a multi-set, this includes paired sets or tri-sets, which are 3 exercises. You're not going to be able to do how high of the intensity as you would a conventional set, because you are going to be having a higher heart rate, which means you're going to be breathing harder because you need more oxygen to your muscles. This is going to decrease the intensity of your exercises. So this 2 to 3 exercise paired is going to drastically decrease your workout times. But the downside to this is going to be that you have to drop the intensity. The third way of strength training I'll be talking about is going to be your circuit style training. Circuit style training is going to be more endurance based because circuit style training is several sets of exercises with very minimal resting to even no resting in between the exercises. Let's just use a 5 circuit set as an example. So you could be doing push-ups, you can have pull-ups, squats, mountain climbers, and then crunches. They're all going to be working out their specific muscle groups, but your heart's going to be pumping higher, faster. You're going to be breathing faster. Your respiratory rate's going to be higher because you're doing so many exercises with very little rest. So you're dipping, like I said before, into that endurance-based style of training. You're going to have to decrease the intensity. You can't be doing really intense multiple sets right after another. That's where the conventional way comes in, with the longer, more frequent breaks after every set. So you have that style of training, which is not a bad style. You can still build muscle, you can still build strength. It's just not as easy. You're not focusing on that because of the multiple sets followed by the resting periods. Bruce Lee did use circuit style training. I don't know exactly when he used it in his life, but he liked it because of the cardiovascular benefit that it brought. He was able to train for longer, extended periods of time as you would be training for martial arts, which that's what his goal was. It wasn't to be a bodybuilder, so he liked that style of training, circuit style of training. All right, so let's talk about which way is be best for you. Rule of thumb is going to be the rule of specificity. So if you want to get stronger, then you're going to need really intense, heavy weightlifting with longer periods for muscle recovery. But let's just use a more specific example. You have, let's just say my goal of doing pull-ups. If I want to do more pull-ups, then I should be doing more pull-ups. It's just simple. The rule of specificity. Do train how you want to perform. So if I want to do pull-ups, I should be training my upper back, my rear delts, and my bicep. You can do that in multiple ways. You can do rows. You can do lat pull downs, bicep curls, anything that's going to be working out your lats. But if you really want to get your pull-up numbers increased, then you should be doing pull-ups, because there's a certain mechanical posture you need when you are on a pull-up bar that you don't get from a lat pull-down machine, because your core is not engaged. You're not going to be as tight with your glutes and then your legs, because if you're shaking during pull-up, and you're going to be not as mechanically efficient. But if you're not really tight with your glutes and your hip flexors on the lat pull-down machine, it's not going to be as important, because you're sitting down, or maybe you're standing up when you're doing your lat pull-down, but more commonly sitting down. It's not going to be that same motion as a pull-up. Guys, if you need help with planning a workout or figuring out which style, let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to help you out. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.